I always love getting the early birds in. Lets me know I'm in the right space. My link is working. So appreciate you folks. Thank you for being here. Get settled in. You might want to grab something to take notes with. We're going to begin in about 90 seconds. Hey, a few more folks have joined. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here today. So far, my friends from the UK are dominating the chat. So find the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from today. Edmonton, Canada. Excellent. I'm coming to you from Ontario, Canada today, folks. Oh, more Alberta. Thanks, Debbie. Alberta's representing. Okay, so now it's a UK versus Alberta battle we have going on right now. Excellent. I'm going to give just one more minute grace. Some people are probably coming from a past meeting. And then we're going to get into it. All right, a couple more friends have joined. Hello. Thank you for being here. Brilliant. Nice. A couple familiar friends and names. Hey, Brad, great to see you again. Karen is here. All right. Cool. Lucy, Iva, right on. All right, friends, we are going to get rolling. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us wherever you're located in the world. We have Alberta represented, we have the UK represented. Very, very cool. Welcome to our monthly Ninja Skills Booster. This is a free monthly webinar we do at Think Productive. This is feedback without fear. We're going to be talking about those two words a lot today. Some of you know me already. Some of you are meeting me for the first time. Welcome. My name's Nick Aiello, and as it says right there, I'm a productivity ninja. That's my actual job title. It's what's written on my business cards. Best job I've ever had. And I work and represent a company called Think Productive. Some of you are very intimately familiar with Think Productive and all our training and all our workshops. If you're finding us for the first time, hello. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited that you've chosen us today for half an hour. Our roots are in productivity and well-being, and our range now currently spans leadership and management and human skills and culture transformation. Human skills, right? They're not soft skills. There's nothing soft about it. It's a human skill. We are a global training organization across the world, multiple languages, all sorts of different companies, shape sizes, public sector, education, charity. And at the heart of what we do, we're giving people space, clarity, and confidence to transform their work for the better. Here we go. Our rules of the road for today. What that means is this is a short one, right? This is what we call our skills booster. We're here for about half an hour. I'm going to try to give you about 27 minutes of content. Then we'll open it up for a very brief Q&A, and I'll stick around if people have some burning questions. If something comes up, try to put it in the actual Q&A tab here on Zoom, and that way it doesn't get lost in the chat. But the chat is going to be lively. If you want to have some engagement and just comment on things in real time, by all means, play around with the chat. You can like other people's comments. I'm going to be asking the chat for some engagement throughout because it's interactive, right? We're going to have some polls, have some fun along the way. Here we go. Feedback. What is it? We're going to be talking a lot about it today, but what do we mean by it? So it's interesting. The word origin kind of has roots in the 60s, but it was really used for the first time in a popular capacity with NASA. and they used it to let astronauts know if they were on course or if they were off course. They were giving them feedback about their trajectory, and giving them, notes in real time to either support their progress or have some kind of course correct along the way. So again, this is where we're going. This is what feedback is: the process of supporting an individual on their path towards either maintaining a standard of performance or behavior, achieving an objective or goal, or celebrating, improving a delivered product or service. I think that one doesn't get focused on enough, the celebrating. Sometimes when we think of feedback, we automatically go to the worst, fixing something, correcting something, constructive feedback. I heard the term just recently, developmental feedback. I like that a lot more than constructive feedback. But the other kind of feedback that we think we should be reinforcing and using more is positive feedback. Catch people doing things well. So it's either meant to reinforce or redirect, but it is with the goal of achieving a pre-agreed outcome. So it's not, it's, are you on track? Or are you off on track? We've agreed on what the outcome is, but now, giving feedback is about that agreed upon outcome. Without an agreed upon outcome, it's maybe criticism, it's maybe praise, but it's more judgment or comment or opinion. It has to have that kind of agreed upon outcome. As promised, this can be interactive today. So I do have a poll to kick us off today. I'm going to start by launching the first one. And please let me know in the chat if you're able to see this poll. It should be up now. How comfortable are you with asking for feedback? Very specific language there. And votes are coming in, so that is my cue that it is working. Our options today: I welcome feedback and regularly ask for it. I ask for feedback but don't get as much as I'd like. I don't ask for it, but I'm okay with receiving it. I brace myself when someone wants to give me feedback. I avoid getting feedback as much as possible. I appreciate your honesty, team. Let us see the results. Mixed, right? 3 of you said, I welcome feedback and regularly ask for it. 3 of you ask for it, but don't get as much as you like. 3 of you brace yourself when someone wants to give you feedback. 2 responded, I do ask for it, but I don't ask for it, but I'm okay with receiving it. 1 honest soul, thank you, right? I avoid getting feedback as much as possible. You're not alone. That's why we're having this whole workshop, because feedback has become the other F word. And a lot of people are in the same boat as you. Avoid getting feedback as much as possible. This poll was around receiving feedback, right? And specifically around asking for feedback. So let's change gears here for a second. I have another poll. This time, I would like to ask you about how you feel giving feedback. So poll number 2 should be launched now. How do you feel about giving feedback? Our options: I love giving feedback. Option 2, I'm comfortable with it and do it regularly. I do it when I have to. I probably avoid it, to be honest, and I find it really stressful. 12 of the 13 folks here have answered. Last person, you can do it. I believe in you. Vote. Ending the poll in 3, 2, 1. Let's see these results. Pretty interesting. Nobody loves giving feedback. 4 of you are very comfortable with it. Do it regularly. 5 of you, it's thank you for the clarity in the chat, Karen. I like that. I feel freely give positive feedback. Constructive or negative feedback is hard, right? Sure. It's easy to say the good things. You're doing this great. You're doing this great. Keep this up. Easy. Negative feedback is hard. Constructive feedback is hard. Sure. Very interesting, right? So very intentional, again, around the way we word things today. The first question was around asking for feedback, which is a form of receiving feedback, but it is a little bit different. So I'm a brain nerd. I kind of pour myself into neuroscience. And it's the hind part of our brain, right? It's called the amygdala. It's in charge of all our fight, flight, freeze responses. It's the emotional part of our brain. It views all change as a threat. Now, the logical part of our brain up here in the front, the prefrontal cortex, knows that not all change is a threat. Some change is opportunity. But feedback, both giving and receiving feedback, is a threat in the brain. So our receptors are firing when we're receiving feedback, but also when we're giving feedback. And we're going to get into it further, but what the science is starting to show us now, asking for feedback doesn't light up the same receptors. It is somehow less stressful to ask for feedback regularly than to be on the receiving end of it or to even give feedback. So some really interesting science coming out there. Let's have this conversation, team. The dreaded phrase, right? Especially if you're like in a relationship, but if you're in the world of work too, we need to talk. Ugh, like, ouch, cringing already. Help me out, team, in the chat. Give me a word, a feeling, an emoji. Seeing, hearing this phrase, we need to talk. What kind of feelings does it elicit? Terror. Yeah, the goblin brain or the monkey brain. Yeah, I call it cave person brain. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh no. I love it. Dread. Yikes. Uh-oh. Yeah. What did I do? Right? We automatically, thank you, Karen, again, right? Our brains, again, neuroscience, you didn't expect all the neuroscience today. Our brains are Teflon for the negative, and Velcro for the negative, excuse me, and Teflon for the good. We hold on to negative far much longer. About what? Yeah, exactly. What did I do? So we're all automatically on the defensive a little bit, right? We're on the back foot. What did I do? What do we need to talk about? Right. Interesting. So this is why this, brief little webinar is called Feedback Without Fear, because a lot of the summary words are using dread, yikes, uh-oh. This is fear-based, right? What is going to be said? What did I do? What do we need to talk about? So let's talk about fear, or at least high functioning fear. This slide comes from one of our other great programs, Thriving Teams. And one of our colleagues, Grace Marshall, wrote a book around functioning fear and high functioning fear. So again, we mentioned, that cave person brain, the goblin brain, in charge of all our fight, flight, or freeze responses. Now we've added fawn. And what this means is, how do we deal with feedback? Are we in fight mode? So this might be pushing back on the feedback. This might be trying to defend ourselves or prove ourselves. Um, flight, avoid, withdraw, procrastinate. Someone gives us feedback and we just kind of retreat inwards. Freeze could be no reaction. We just kind of nod through it, but also no action. So someone gives us feedback that we could use, but we take no action. Fawn is our people-pleasing tendencies. This is agreeing. This is apologizing. This is seeking approval. So let's have some fun with this now. Okay, let's do another poll. Should be seeing poll 3 now around feedback fear. When I feel the fear receiving feedback, I am more likely to fight, push back, defend myself, prove myself, flight, avoid, withdraw, delay, go within, freeze, no reaction, but also no action, fawn, agree, apologize, seek approval. Nice, votes are coming in. Thank you for the responses. Waiting on 2 votes, waiting on 1 vote. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Let's see. Mixed, right? So interesting. Such a small group, varying results. When I feel the feedback, feel the fear when receiving feedback, I'm more likely to, 4 of you, fight. Oh yeah, son of a bang, son of a boom, right? Defend yourself or prove yourself. One is fleeing within, freeze, and two, and fawn. Wow, interesting. Five have this kind of people-pleasing tendency a little bit, where we're going to apologize, we're going to seek approval. Oh, you're right, I could improve in that area. Nice. Okay. One last poll, folks. So now, still with this idea of high functioning fear, what is our default when giving feedback? A couple of colorful images here. So when I feel fear giving feedback, I'm more likely to default to a seagull strategy. I'm going to give some feedback. I'm going to dump and fly off, right? Here's some insight. Here's something I've observed, and then take off. The silent but deadly feedback. I'm not going to say anything, but it's all going to bottle up until I explode. Passive aggressive, again, maybe not even intentionally, but the quality of our feedback is unclear or kind of fuzzy. Everything is awesome. Only the good stuff. Hey, I'm going to point out what you're doing well. Uh, or excuse me, I didn't edit it out, the choice five, but nothing's ever good enough. The all critique approach. No choice for all of the above, depends on the person. Great comment, Debbie. Appreciate that. Nice. Ending the poll in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, Andrew's agreeing with you. Cool. Hey, Andrew, great to see you. Awesome. So again, mixed, right? Everyone's got a different approach, and as we're hearing for the chat, it might vary depending on context, depending on the situation when giving feedback as well. Nice. Here we go. So the key to great feedback experiences. Graham, who founded Think Productive, wrote the book, How to Be a Productivity Ninja. His new award-winning book, Kind, The Quiet Power of Kindness at Work, says, when we learn to receive feedback graciously, then we can learn to be able to give it kindly. I really like that. You did great with this. This wasn't great, but still good. Yeah, yeah, nice. So this is really interesting, right? Giving feedback kindly. We've probably heard the phrase, feedback is a gift. And it can be. It can be when it comes from that place of care and concern, right? There needs to be trust built among the receiver and the giver. Ideally, feedback is, I want you to look better moving forward. Here's what we're doing. Keep this up or alter this slightly so you look better moving forward. Let's talk about this idea of kind feedback, because nice and kind are not the same thing. I have been called the nice guy before, and in the context, it was a swear. It was derogatory. There is a difference between nice and kind, especially when it comes for feedback. Nice is for you. You're doing it for you. You're not saying the hard thing that needs to be said. You're appeasing, telling people what they want to hear. Not kind. It's better. And it's for them, telling people what they need to hear. It might not be easy, but it's what they need to hear. There's a difference. There's a sincere difference between nice and kind. People first, work second. Amazing book. Yeah. I use this when giving feedback. Yeah. I often say kind doesn't mean nice. Megan, you're right on. Right? So kindness is going to build relationships. And here's what we mean by this, folks. Think salted caramel. Is anyone with me loving salted caramel? It's awesome. There's a little sharp bits of salt that temper the sweetness, and together it's beautiful, right? So salted caramel is a great way to give feedback, because what we're talking about is, kind equals truth and grace. We're handling the thing that needs to be said delicately. So the truth is the salt. It's the thing you need to hear, but the caramel is the grace. It's how we present it, right? Gift wrapping, packaging. So I love this salted caramel analogy. Kindness equals truth plus grace. And that is kind. It's not nice. It's not just for you. It's for the other person as well. Cool. Uh, Receiving feedback graciously. We said if we can receive feedback graciously, then we can give it kindly. Um, Sometimes just taking what the person has to say. Sometimes we're hard with this, especially sometimes if it's positive. We don't know how to take it. We don't know what to do with it. Thank you is a full sentence, right? Receiving feedback is a critical skill, especially in today's world of work, right? So again, treating it like a gift. Again, the brain is a muscle. So the more we work at this, and feedback is a skill, right? The more we work at giving feedback and receiving it, the better we get at it. So that's a new one for people. We didn't often think that feedback was a skill that we could practice and rehearse and get improved. We just thought it was something in the moment where we're providing commentary on. So again, the brain is a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. So the more you're receiving feedback graciously, the more you're intentional on giving feedback kindly. And again, what I mentioned before with the neuroscience, the more that we start asking for feedback, um, it takes a little bit of the edge off as well. How do you receive feedback graciously? Listen. Stop trying to prove yourself. Again, that was one of our fault mechanisms. Oh, well, I did that because of this, and I did this because of. No, stop proving yourself and look to improve yourself. And again, choose what to do with it. That might be, thank you for the feedback. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to action that. It could be, depending on the source, thank you for that feedback. I'm going to leave it here for now. I don't know if I'm going to work on that piece because maybe the source or other circumstances, but you can choose what to do with it. Wow, we are already getting into the end. Let's talk about feedback that lands. How do we deliver feedback? We've talked about how to receive it gracefully. Specificity, great word, right? The details make it meaningful and make it actionable. We need specifics in feedback. Hey, great job. Okay, thank you. What part? What was I doing well? Right? If we're giving positive, constructive, or developmental feedback, give specifics. Or otherwise it's fuzzy and vague and I don't know what to do with it. Right? I need to be able to do something with the feedback. What did I do well so I can keep doing it? What part wasn't so hot? What part needs a little bit of attention so I can do something with it? Frequent. It's not once a year, right? It's not that performance review. The more we frequent, the more normalizing we give to feedback, positive and constructive feedback, the more, excuse me, the more we're frequent with our feedback, the less anxiety we have around it because it's normalized. It's just something that's part of the culture. Yeah, specific and timely are being too hard to do it busy in the right time and then forgetting specifics items by the time there is time. Yeah, right? Because we want observable behavior, things you heard, things we saw. So let's jump to timely, because this is an analogy that was presented to me and I love it. Feedback is best served fresh, but not always raw. Right? So sometimes it has to be within a close proximity to the behavior, to the event. But sometimes, again, if we're acting out of kindness, that person needs time to maybe come down, or there are high emotions involved. So maybe it's not served raw, but it is served fresh, which is a really great analogy. Balanced feedback. Come on, team. Who knows the sandwich, right? Our feedback sandwich. When we say something nice, we say something constructive, we say something nice. The sandwich doesn't work, team. It's broken. Especially if you're using one word in your feedback. When you say something nice or positive and you couch it with what's the small word that is an absolute feedback killer. Does anyone know it? Hit me up in the chat. You're doing such a good job here, but here is my gift to you folks. But feedback is awful because our brains, I don't know the neuroscience around this. I would love to. We hear the but, and it negates anything that came before it. Our brains are saying, well, you set me up. You said this nice thing to say this thing that you really wanted to say. Donna, that is the magic wand solution, and it's free and it works every time and it's brilliant. Try to replace the word but with the word and. Bippity boppity. It's magical. It works every time and holds both pieces true at the same time. Great job with that report. Thank you for getting it to me on time. And I think it could be improved next time if you added page numbers. The positive and the constructive, both pieces are true. So many of you know the and trick. There you go. When it does come to balanced feedback, though, again, the ratio seems to be, the science is saying 5-1 in terms of how much positive feedback you need to give some specific constructive or developmental feedback. Our brains are Velcro for the bad and Teflon for the good. So if we want the constructive to land, the 5-1 ratio has to be applied for balanced feedback. Actionable. Again, this is the big one. I need to be able to do something with this. Nick, you're short. Well, thank you. I know. What can I do with that? Nick, when you're standing at the podium, we lose sight of you a little bit. So if you shift to the left, more people will be able to see you throughout the time of your presentation. I can do something with that. Thank you. That is actionable. Yeah, Megan, absolutely. Right. Relevant. Again, make sure the feedback applies to the person, right? It has to be tailored for, and we've talked about timely. Cool. Here we go, because we're already coming up against time. There's so much to unpack. So, right, if you like this webinar, we have a 3-hour session around it, and it is well worth your time. Again, the feedback mindset, feedback is a gift. You're investing in someone's growth. It's feed, I have your back, right? I don't want you to look foolish moving forward. Feedback is a skill that we can improve. It comes with planning and practice. Feedback is a dialogue, not a monologue. How many of you have been on the wrong end of what I call the finger wag? You did this and this is what you did. That sucks, right? It's one directional and it's not effective. Feedback's only effective if it's a two-way conversation. Feedback strengthens the relationship, not just the work. So we're looking at addressing behavior, right? Not personality, behavior, but it does improve the relationship as well. Holy moly, team. There's our half hour gone. We've only scratched the surface. We get into way more models about feedback, asking for feedback. My personal model and philosophy around feedback is called the spinach in your teeth model. If you're interested, here's our feedback session. It's called We Need to Talk, 3-hour session, virtual, in person. It's really, really become one of my favorite ones that we do. Sign up for the Skills Booster Hub. Many are on the monthly newsletter. That's how you probably hear about the Skills Booster. If you missed, last month's, if you have a friend that would be interested in today's, all the recordings are on the Skills Booster Hub. So let me park this here for 1 second. Thoughts, questions, let me know. I don't see any formal questions in the Q&A, but I'll take some now into the chat if anyone has any questions or wants something addressed. Nicola, thank you. The other great word for positive feedback, to make it more specific, is because. That report was great versus that report was great because. Brilliant, right? Specificity, details. Oh, cheers. That's very kind. Thank you. Yeah, folks, we understand that some of you have to hop. I'll stick around for a bit if anyone has any questions. Once again, my name is Nick Aiello. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to meeting you again down the path. Blitz through with it. I know, right? Sorry, Brad. It's like drinking from a fire hose, but there's so much to get through. I was trying to give everyone a little taste. Cheers. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, that's very kind, team. Thank you. All the best, folks. Take care, Brad. Cheers, folks. Happy to answer any questions if they come in. Great to see you, Andrea. All the best. Again, thank you, team. Understand some people are hopping off. So yes, Debbie, feedback can be the same as difficult conversations. Um, those conversations are what I would call a type of feedback, uh, but probably again a little bit more turned up to 11, a little bit more amplified. Feedback tends to be kind of a little bit more addressing one-off behavior, where those difficult conversations, at least in my experience, there's history, there's a pattern of behavior there, or the behavior elicits higher consequence. So that is certainly a type of feedback, these courageous conversations, difficult conversations. Right. So to me, your example, it constitutes pattern. There's history there. It's not a first time occurrence. You've probably given feedback about this behavior before, and now it's escalated. Now it's ongoing. So with that, my offer is when we talk about difficult, courageous conversations, it's all in what we call the setup and the pivot question. So the setup is 60 seconds, 90 seconds tops of context. This is the situation. This is what we need to talk about. This is why it's important. And that what we call the pivot question. So an open-ended question that makes it now a dialogue and a conversation. I wanted to talk to you today about, you've been interrupting me while I'm trying to get a lot of my work done. While I value, having our conversations, there's a time and place for it, and I think we need to address this. What is causing you to interrupt me while I'm getting my work done? Something to that effect. We can massage it and tweak it, but it's a little bit of context, and then inviting that person in with an open-ended question. So now it's a dialogue. I hope that helped. Great. So yeah, courageous conversation is feedback, but typically escalated. Oh, right. Yeah, totally, Sophie. It's hard. Um, how do you present negative feedback to someone who's defensive? Have your facts in order, have specifics to draw from, and, anticipate that reaction. Play it out with someone, a trusted friend. Hey, I'm going to give you a piece of feedback. Come at me a little bit defensive. Don't take it personal is the easy answer. It's simple, but not easy. And if they are being defensive, you still got to land your plane. What I mean by that is you can't now alleviate your message. You can't walk it back to alleviate their emotions. So you still have to make the point of, I understand you might not feel that way. We can disagree about the past, but we need to agree about the future. So whether you feel you've demonstrated this or not, what needs to happen moving forward is blank. Yeah, absolutely. Great. Thumbs up. Thank you for that. Love it. If there are no other comments or questions, I will leave you to enjoy the rest of your day, teams. All the best. Thanks again for joining.